Tonight, we want the Black Widow, a Marvel marriage, and DC Fandome on comic book canon. Welcome to Comic Book Canon. We are back on a Friday talking comic books, pop culture, all that good stuff. But I can't do it without my partner in crime, Chris. Chris, welcome.
Jeff, how goes it this Friday?
It goes, man. It goes. These Fridays, I say it every week. It's like, didn't we just do this yesterday? But we didn't. It's been a week, and we got more to talk about. And we are excited to be here. Thank you so much to the viewers and audience for, again, joining us for hopefully another great show. It will be a great show. Don't you agree?
Yeah, this is going to be. We said in the pre-show, I think every week you and I get more excited for it, so I hope the viewers feel the same.
Exactly. We're going to be talking news. We're going to be talking top 10 comic books. We're going to be talking everything related to that. But we also have a very special guest today that's going to be featured in a brand new segment called Props or Slops. We do this the first of every month. We will get to that, but not before the news, because we're going to start off with the news here, Chris.
I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
A lot to talk about. Here we go. So, Disney, on their quarterly earnings call, just announced that Mulan will be on Disney Plus. However, pay PVOD for $29.99. Viewers can watch Mulan on Disney Plus. Obviously, it's been postponed many dates because of COVID, and here we are now. Disney wants to make their money back. The film will still receive a theatrical release in the overseas market. Bob Chapek stated on a conference call that they want Mulan to be a one-off, but are willing to look at how it drives Disney Plus subscribers plus VOD rentals at the $29.99 price point. We're going to learn and see if it works and if it makes money. Now, the question I'll pose to all y'all, what does this mean for the Black Widow? So, Chris, what do we got here? What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, this is exciting. Look, Disney knows what they're doing. They're just not being reactionary, making some silly decisions here. They're going to put this out there. They need revenue at this point. And look, $30, I think a lot of people are going to be putting their money into this. And look, like you said, what does this mean for Black Widow? That's what I'm excited about. I want this decision with this film, Mulan, to be such a success that we get to see Black Widow. And my advice to everyone is don't go breaking social distancing rules and, go party up at one house on the block where everyone throws $1 down to get the $30 rental. And then you're all crammed in a living room watching, stay in your home, pay the $30 if you're with your family, your kids, your wife, your husband, whatever it may be, and support this opportunity, because especially for us, MCU fans that really want to see Black Widow, if this can make money, we could do the same thing for Black Widow, because we are hungry for something.
Yeah, this is the thing. If you guys are dying for Marvel movies, this is a time to speak with your wallet if you can. $30 is a lot. We understand that. But for me, my personal opinion, I wanted to see Mulan. I still want to see Mulan. I will pay the $30 for two reasons. I want to see Mulan, and I want to speak with my wallet. I want to show Disney Plus that this could work. This could work. I would rather see this in my home than have to wait even longer to go see it in a movie theater.
Absolutely. And hey, to your point, I have two kids. If we were to go to the movie theater with my family, buy the popcorn, buy the soda, buy the candy, I'm spending over $60 to $100 just to go see this movie in the film. So for me to watch it at home, I know it's not necessarily the same experience. It's ironic though. They're making movie theaters more like a home experience where you have these, recliners that you're falling asleep in because you're so comfortable. So look, hey, $30, especially if you have more than one viewer in your home, I think it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, a good point that John Mason brought up, my friend actually, and Chris Killian, who you meet in a little bit. You get to keep watching it as much as you want after the $30. That is a fact. Bishner is asking if that is a fact. Bishner, 100% you will get to. And that's even more reason too. I mean, hopefully it's a great movie. But moving on, and hopefully for another installment of a great movie or series, Chris, you've got the next story.
Oh man, everything revolving around this news is it's so fun to me at this point. But we got we got word from Ryan Reynolds concerning Deadpool 3 and what's going on there with this film over at MCU. All Reynolds said was basically, I don't know. He continued to say, obviously, everything is on hold right now. Now, look, this isn't really big news or anything. I just think it's fun because we covered a story, I think, 2 weeks ago where Rob Liefeld went on another tangent rant about what is Marvel doing with Deadpool? You're not getting your return on your $70 billion, you know? And here's the thing. I think what Ryan Reynolds said is basically not surprising to any of us. It's in the hands of Kevin Feige. They're going to make moves on this movie when the time is right. Unfortunately, we're in a situation where stuff is being put on pause. And that's what Ryan Reynolds said. Now, the thing that's exciting about me, because it's just entertaining at this point, I'm almost hoping that Liefeld comes out like next week or something with another rant, just for the fun of it.
Listen, yeah, we're starving for any kind of news, MCU news or what have you. So it does keep things entertaining. It does keep people on their feet and reactionary because he is a polarizing figure, Rob Liefeld. But let's be at the end of the day, we want more Deadpool. We want him to be in the MCU, and we want it to be rated R. I think this is going to happen. I think that the delays have just kept everything, just extended the time periods on moving things forward in production.
I agree. And, the question that we could ask, well, maybe Liefeld's right, but ultimately I don't think so. And to your point, Jeff, this is just, we just got to wait it out. We got to be patient and we got to wait it out. Deadpool 3 is going to show up when the time is right.
Now, he's not the $70 billion IP that Rob Liefeld has said at times, $70 billion, but he definitely is a moneymaker for Disney at this point, and money talks. Let's be honest. So
absolutely. All
right, moving on to our next story. We have a Marvel marriage coming up. That's right. Actually, it already happened in the latest issue, Empire number 4. It was revealed that Hulkling and Wiccan were married before the whole Empire event. Now, as you know, Hulkling is the son of a Skrull princess and the original Captain Marvel, and Wiccan is the son of Scarlet Witch and the Vision. Empire writer Al Ewing said, I've got a lot of love for Hulkling and Wiccan, both individually and as a couple. So it's a good feeling to be able to deliver this kind of shocking ending for readers, which hopefully lifts fans' spirits a little bit rather than bringing them down. I mean, how can you be brought down for a wedding? And, Marvel just sent, and this is obviously, I should have probably prefaced this with spoilers, but most of you probably know this is kind of making the rounds in the news. Marvel admitted to this. They released kind of like a wedding invitation here, stating after the Empire event, they are going to have the wedding in Empire Aftermath. I guess just invite all their friends for the party is what's going to happen. So Chris, a lot to dissect here, a lot of things that people may think about something like this for obvious reasons. So let's just get started, shall we? Dissect it a little bit.
Yeah. Hey, look, obviously, I mean, it's sad to say, but this is gonna bring forth controversy. And my opinion on this is, look, this is a reflection of real life. Is it my life? Is it your life? Maybe not, but it's a reflection of what's going out there in the world. It represents individuals that exist in every community across this country, across the world. So for that, I'm excited for it. I'm happy about it. And look, to those that really want to pick up the pitchforks against this stuff, my reply to them, or my advice to them, is, look, just don't buy it. When you go to the comic book store on Comic Book Wednesday, 4 times a month or whatever it may be, there are countless other titles that will speak to you. If this isn't for you, just don't pick it up. If it is, there you go. But, I think this is going to ultimately be a success. This isn't what's driving comics these days. I think off the top of my head, I can only think of 2 LGBT gay marriage events that have happened in comic books, with North Star, which happened, over 10 years ago now, and then this. So, look, we've had countless other events that do not represent, these groups of individuals that exist in reality. I am absolutely for this, and I'm just looking for it to be successful.
Yeah, I mean, like, where we are today in society, I feel like the people that I surround myself with, people may be for or against this, whatever, but I didn't bat an eye at this news, and I didn't even think about any sort of ramifications. I haven't seen any negativity online against this at all either yet. So who knows if it's even there? But this is not a big deal. Like, you know, it happens in real life. This is a diverse. You know, this world is diverse. There's all kinds of different people, and it's nice to see comic books representing that. Now, you did bring up a good point in our rehearsal, though.
Yes. Yeah. So basically, I agree 100%. I do like that you brought up, because for myself as well, I haven't heard any of those chirps going on out there that speak to this as being negative. I don't know if it's gotten the attention yet, though. But my advice, though, is, look, if there's anything to those that have any issue with, you know, more LGBT representation, more lead female representation, minority representation, Black, brown, Asian, whatever it may be, my only thing that I would be able to side on for any backlash against that isn't the characters themselves, but is who is writing and creating the characters behind the scenes. If we want more representation, it should be happening behind the scenes too, because all I see with these new, you know, we have the new warriors, we have this going on, and the creators are middle-aged white males. So what I would like to see is, if we want to be thorough and headstrong, you know, in terms of progression into representation of all types of diversity, let's have it in who's creating these characters, so the characters fleshed out on pages can be more what's the word I'm looking for, be more true to you know, true to form, and says they have that proper representation. They're coming from real life individuals that understand what it's like to be these characters, or what their stories may be and how they should be told.
Absolutely. You have a different perspective when, you know, we all have different perspectives, and you need to bring in that representation to represent that perspective. So I'm all for this, Isaac Maynard. Maybe this will get new readers to come in and read comic books. So overall, I think this is going to help the campus market and get new readers to come in. So I'm excited. That's good to know. And he also asked, how much does that marriage comic cost? I'll bet you it's like $5. It's one of the newer issues. I think it was out this week. So anyways, again, could be controversial. I haven't seen anything, which I'm actually happy about.
Right.
And that's a good thing. So anyways, but moving on though, speaking of good things, we got a huge event happening in 2 weeks from tomorrow, Chris. 2 weeks from tomorrow. Can you tell us more about that, please?
Yeah, man. We talked about this in the pre-show. This is so exciting. I'm more excited for this than we were about Comic-Con at home, and that's DC Fandom. DC Fandom and their 24-hour event, just over 2 weeks away. This seems to be something that's going to have fans really, really coming out of it, you know, taking it to Twitter and Facebook and social media. You know, we got films like Wonder Woman 84, the Flash film. We got Arrowverse news. We got Doom Patrol and HBO Max news and whatnot. And to top off all of this, they announced that there's going to be a lineup of 300 guests. Gal Gadot, Kristen Wiig, Chris Pine, Patty Jenkins, Ezra Miller, James Gunn, Robert Pattinson, Val Kilmer. But most of all, that got me going here is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And he also tweets, quote, "They needed a hero, instead they got me. Excited for the first ever global celebration of the DC Marvel Universe, hashtag DC Fandom. This one's just for you, the fans around the world. Stay healthy, my friends, and I'll see you all on August 22nd. The Man in Black, Black Adam." So what does this mean for Black Adam? Maybe The Rock knows something that we don't know, but we did get a teaser trailer. So shall we roll that? Like, yeah. I mean, I should have got the popcorn out for that one again.
Yep. I'm all about that one, man. That is going to be exciting because Comic-Con was such a letdown this year. I mean, We are thirsting for any sort of news, and this will be news. And other than getting a good first look of Black Adam, I'm more intrigued. I'm just as intrigued, actually, as Val Kilmer being there. Could we see another situation where they bring back a Batman in a multiverse kind of way? I don't know.
Yeah. Very interesting. Hey, real quick before we move on too, we talked a little about in the pre-show about what this could mean to Marvel. Could Marvel, make some kind of announcement that crushes this huge event that DC has been, keeping in their back pocket? My thoughts on this are, I think Marvel might really look at what DC is doing to see how successful it is. When you take into consideration what we talked about VOD, video on demand with Mulan, seeing if that's a success. I think maybe we are seeing the mold of, these big companies like DC and Marvel breaking away from a Comic-Con era and really standing on their own legs. So instead of Marvel kind of jumping in here in the mix, they're just saying, okay, DC, we're gonna let you be the guinea pigs, go handle business. We'll see how they respond, and then Marvel's gonna come with theirs and just be like 2 times better. Maybe DC fans will disagree with me there, but those are kind of my thoughts on that.
Yeah, B. Schnurr, man, what a tease that was. Christopher Barker, DC Fandom gonna crush it, probably. Like I'm super excited. What I would like to see is, we got this lead up to DC Fandom, and they're really hyping it up. And this does a really good. I didn't know what to expect, but seeing this, I think they're really gonna go all out. But what I want to see is Marvel come out with just out of nowhere some crazy announcements themselves, because we did not have that this summer, and compete with DC. I just want to see the competition because we, the fans, will benefit from it. So I'm super excited. But I'm also super excited about another element from this DC Fandom that they talked about as well. And there's going to be a Suicide Squad game. That is really exciting. We're going to learn more about that DC Fandom, right? In DC Fandom. But right now, Chris, we are going to we have a new segment called Props or Slops. We bring in a friend from the community who gives us a talk on something they're very passionate about, whether it be props, something they're praising, or slops, something they're completely dogging, they can't stand. They're passionate about the subject. And we are very lucky tonight to have Chris Killian from comicbook.com joining us to give us props or slops on the Suicide Squad video game. Chris.
Oh, yes.
Chris, thank you for joining us. How are you?
I'm great. I'm so excited to be here for Props or Slops. Oh man, you guys are talking about DC Fandom, and like I was watching the news. I just wanted to jump in on so many things talking about that. DC Fandom's gonna make me shit my pants. It's it's gonna be amazing. I mean, they have, like, 2020 has been insane for DC. They have been able to create so much momentum for themselves. I mean, ever since they announced the Snyder release, it just feels like it's been boom, 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 just nonstop. And now DC Fandom is just gonna blow it out of the water, and the Suicide Squad game is gonna top it all off. We can talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Let's do it.
So we kind of have an idea of the direction you're going. As I said before, this is a new segment called Props or Slops. We are very lucky to have you, Chris Killian, here from comicbook.com. Chris, are you giving us props or slops on the Suicide Squad video game?
Rocksteady game, man. Props, baby. It's going to be props all the way.
All right, so here we go. Here are the rules, Chris. You have 5 minutes to give us your props on the Suicide Squad video game. And from there, we'll all come back, get together, maybe hit on some points you hit on, and then we'll send you off on your merry way. Again, thank you so much for being here. So what we're going to do, I'm going to take myself and Chris Haskins out of the stream right now, and then it's going to be all you. When you see the timer go, that means it's your time to shine and give us your props, okay?
All right.
Have fun with it, sir. Here we go.
Good luck.
All right. So for those of you that don't know, I kind of host a show called Daily Distraction, and today this news came out, but luckily, well, not luckily for me, but we filmed the show too early before the news. And so check this out. Like 12 hours later, I still got goosebumps. I'm super pumped about the Suicide Squad game, and I'm going to tell you why. I got all these notes written down. I'm going to go to them. First off, the game has been rumored for what feels like years now. I've got questions. I've got speculations. But most of all, need to see some footage from the game. And as they just covered, we're going to talk about that with DC Fandom. We're going to see it in like 2 weeks. What I think is likely going to take place is this game is going to be probably taking place after Arkham Knight. So as you can see right there, we got Suicide Squad, and they're going to freaking try to kill Superman and the Justice League. So what's not to love about that? First off, Rocksteady is like the premier superhero video game. Like they have, they changed video games. They just did. Ever since back like starting with Arkham Asylum and then going on to the Arkham City and then Arkham Knight. Arkham Origins we don't really count as much, but it's really not as bad a game as everybody makes out. It's not Rocksteady though. That was Warner Brothers Montreal. But this has been huge. It's been rumored for a long time, and we have not heard anything about it until now. So yeah, DC's bringing out the big guns for this. And what better antagonist than Superman? Like, told the right way, I feel like Superman can be downright frightening. Like, you just watch Homelander on The Boys or Dr. Manhattan in The Watchmen, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Superman as a bad guy. We don't know whether or not he's going to be a good guy or a bad guy in the game. We know absolutely almost nothing about the game, but it's going to be insane. I know that much. I mean, even in that picture that just got brought up, I mean, Superman looks a little bit evil. Like, he's like, say that's Deadshot right there, like aiming at him, and Superman just hears the click and he's gone bad, and he could just turn around and just blast a laser through Deadshot's. People are going to die. That's what I'm saying. It's a Rocksteady game. They killed off Joker. They unmasked Batman. So it's going to be pretty epic. Now, big question that we've got about everything is like, who's going to be in the game, right? That's a big question everybody's asking. We obviously don't know. I think it's a safe bet that we can all guess that Harley Quinn is going to be in the game because she has had such a big part in the Arkham universe. So we've seen Harley Quinn. She's probably the only safe bet. I would also, my second bet would probably be Deathstroke. I think we're going to see Deathstroke because he also had a part in Arkham Origins and Arkham Knight. But anybody after that, it's just really anybody else's guess. Let's see what else we got here. Oh yeah, here's the big thing that I've been curious about with the game, which I cannot exclaim how excited I am about this, but one thing I'm curious about is like whether or not the Justice League are going to be evil or if they're going to be good. We don't know. It looks in that picture like Superman might have a little evil thing going on with him. Like maybe their minds have been taken over by something and they become bad and the Suicide Squad have to stop them. Traditionally in the comic books, Suicide Squad's always been more like anti-heroes, but hell with that. I say just let them be bad guys trying to kill the Justice League. That's what I want to see. But I don't know how you guys feel about it. I know I got like a minute and 30 seconds left, but we don't know anything else about it. So let's just chat about it. You guys, are you there? Are you there? Yeah,
well
let's do it.
Well done with your props and slops,
Okay.
Chris.
Well, I was only going off of one picture, so I had to. I was really
didn't have much to work with. You picked the topic, though. Let's be. You picked the topic, so it is kind of your fault.
It's a very timely topic, and I am very excited about it. That's all true. I am super pumped for this game. I cannot wait for it to come out. Like, I feel like every superhero game since Arkham Asylum has tried to copy Batman in some form or fashion, and they just can't do it. The Spider-Man game was great, but it just, it ripped off Arkham Knight. I mean, it just clearly did. So I'm pumped for it.
And you brought up some great points. Will the Justice League be bad? And will the Suicide Squad have to go after? I love everything about this. Another thing that I didn't hear you bring up, I read somewhere, people are thinking that maybe that this poster here, or this image, is Bizarro as well. Because there's a weird, we haven't zoomed in yet, but there's a weird scar by his eye. You did mention, I guess, the glowing effect by his eye. But a lot of people are saying that could be Bizarro, and they're just...
and now that you say that too, there's like a purple hue to the cape a little bit, So... Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and well, we do know that like Rocksteady, and this is where like a lot of the rumors kind of kicked off, but Rocksteady registered the domain name like Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. So, I mean, it pretty much tells you the plot right there, right? So I think it's going to be the Justice League. I think that is Superman, but I mean, when you're getting outside of the scope of Gotham City, it's going to get huge. Like Rocksteady is really, really pulling out the big stops for this, and it's been like 10 years since Arkham Knight. I mean, people forget how long it's been now, but it's been no, it's not been that long. How long has it been? It's probably, I want to say
5 or 6 years.
7 years, maybe 10 years for like Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
Is that about right? Yeah. So, but I mean, they've been so hush hush about this for a long time, and they actually said that they weren't going to do any more Batman games, like that they were done with Batman games. So this is a little tricky on their part, but this is I'm just stoked for this.
Absolutely. Isaac Maynard wants to know, will the Suicide Squad video game be released on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC, or will it be only exclusive? I would think
it'll be on PlayStation because they've been killing it. But no, I think it'll probably be everywhere. Unless there has been rumors that like Microsoft has been trying to buy Warner Brothers games, and if that and it would be a smart move because Spider-Man's exclusive to PlayStation. So if they snag Batman, I mean that would be a huge win for Xbox. But dear Father in heaven, please don't let that happen. I am a PlayStation guy all the way, and I will cry. I will cry if I find out that Batman becomes exclusive to Xbox.
Well, let's hope that they're going to start kind of like I'm an Xbox guy, you're a PlayStation guy. We've never played online, so hopefully, maybe one day, right? Hopefully,
one day.
And
that's the thing. Like a lot of games, supposedly on PS5 and Xbox Series X are going to be cross-platform, right? That's the rumor that they're going to be able to be cross-platform. So. Fingers crossed. I hope so, but I don't want it. I don't like exclusives. I mean, I like that I'm on the good side of the fight compared to where you are, but all in all, I don't want exclusives. I want everybody to be able to get their hands on it. But I mean, it makes sense why the companies do it. I mean,
but I'll admit I'm jealous that you do have Spider-Man. So,
because he's your favorite, right? You never bought a PlayStation just to play Spider-Man?
Nah, I was thinking about it. I just couldn't do it. Isaac Maynard is in your club, PlayStation all the way. Mike Sears is surprised that it'll be $60. He's going to buy some Golden or Silver Age comic books. That's not a bad. At least you're not buying some other stuff that's going to hurt somebody or something like that. You're buying some comic books. That's great. Chris, thank you so much for joining us. It was an absolute pleasure. You are more than welcome to come on our show anytime you want. You all need to check out Chris and comicbook.com and his show, The Daily Distraction. If you go to CK Comedy on Instagram, all the information is there. You'll be able to direct you to all his content because he's making some fantastic content there at comicbook.com.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Chris. Anytime there's two Chris's in the building, man, we know it's going to be a good show.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure to meet you, Chris.
For sure. You too.
All right. Take care, Chris Killian.
Wait. Where's Chris at? Where are you at, state-wise?
California.
Oh, okay. So I won't be seeing you anytime soon. All right.
Way far away.
Yeah. Let's stay in touch, though. Chris Killian, thank you so much. Have a good night, man.
Thank you.
All right. That was fun, everybody. Props or slaps will come back at the first of every month. Again, our contestant picks out the subject, so who knows what it's going to be next month, but it will be fun just like this one was. Moving on, Chris. What do we got, Chris? What do you want to tease them with? What do we got next?
How about some hot comic books?
You got it. The top 10 comic books based off of Cover Price's data, coverprice.com. They don't pay us to say this, but they are amazing. They follow the data. They get into it. And it's not speculation. It's based off of the actual sales data from eBay and other sites on the top 10 hottest comic books of the week. This comes out on Tuesday, this list. We are a Friday show, so we do things a little bit differently. We'll give you the top 10 hottest comics, but Chris dives in and gets into the nitty-gritty on the 3 that he thinks are the most interesting. So here we go. I'm going to name off the top 10 comic books of this week. They are Ultimate Fallout 4. That is just not leaving the top 10, which is a good thing. Venom 26, the first appearance of Virus. Number 8 is Oblivion Song. Number 1. Number 7 is Venom. Number 25, the second print. That is a crazy wraparound cover. Number 6 is Thor. Number 5. Number 5 is Strange Academy number 1. Number 4 is Wonder Woman 759, first appearance of Liar Liar, the Jim Lee cover. Number 3 is Wonder Woman 759, cover A. Number 2 is Captain Marvel 18, the first appearance of Lori L., which is Captain Marvel's sister, and that's the Mora cover. And number 1 is Captain Marvel number 18, the cover A. Chris, a lot we could talk about here, but there are 3 that you specifically want to talk about.
Yeah.
So
I will give a big shout out to my guy Miles Morales. Every week he's up there, I'm just gonna shout him out. I'm not picking him as my top 3, but it's because it's consistent every single week. He's still up there, so just a big shout out to Miles. But let's get into the top 3.
Before we do,
yes,
Kid Collector.
Yes.
Favorite part of the show. He loves the top 10. Thank you, Kid Collector. We really appreciate that. But here we go. Chris is going to dive right into it.
Okay. This is a lovely, lovely week. Very, very, well, let's just start. First off, my number 3 pick is Oblivion Song #1, an Image #1 book, another independent book. And I love seeing independent books in the top 10s. So I picked this book because of the success of an indie level, but also because here we are in another situation where you have another independent that's getting traction due to movie hype. So Skybound founder Robert Kirkland recently did confirm that this movie, which was announced sometime past, is still in development with Universal Pictures. So that is a good sign. Kirkland did go on to say that they felt like the initial announcement of this going into production was probably too premature. But again, just like we talked about Ryan Reynolds talking about what's going on with Deadpool, there's so much stuff that is just, we don't know. Everything is put on pause. That's kind of what's going on with this, but there is no stopping this film from being made. And, you know, we've seen the success of The Walking Dead. Yeah, let's keep following this, because this is another one of those books that if it pans out, you know, Image has just got another one in the books.
Yeah, definitely. You know, Kirkman has a great track record. Obviously, Walking Dead was just a phenomenon. Outcast didn't do as well, but we have Invincible coming up too. Again, it's a testament to how strong the market is when you see these independents on here. Isaac Maynard, always great to see some independent books on that top 10 list. And Chris and I, Chris, I'm speaking for you because we talk about it all the time. We can't agree more. We absolutely can't agree more. And there's been a nice selection, a nice representation of that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's go into number 2 here. Number 2 is Wonder Woman number 759. And let me tell you a little bit why I like the fact that this book is on here. 1, I like that we have cover A and the cover B variant in a top 10. Brand new book. It is selling off the shelves. Now, there is some speculation. This is the first appearance of a new character, new villain called Liar Liar. DC has confirmed that this issue is the first appearance. This individual is actually a character named Emma that lives next door to Diana in her apartment complex. Now, what I like about this, too, is that there wasn't the huge hype, you know, speculatory hype before the release, like say Punchline or even what's been going on with Virus with Marvel, and people are still buying the book. So I really like that. Now this is a run that I collect. I'm not up to date on my reading of Wonder Woman, I will say, but look, you know, I don't know too much about this character. This could be a character that, you know, just ends up not panning out, not being anything extreme, but regardless, people are still getting their hands on both covers. It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm in the same camp with you. I don't read this series specifically, but what I've read about it, Liar Liar, is people are hyping it up as potentially like another Punchline situation. I mean, everybody went crazy for Punchline, so we'll see. I feel like this is a bit more under the radar, though, wouldn't you? Isn't that the case? Wouldn't that be the case?
Yeah, but look, you know, this also proves that people are still out there doing their research, you know, and they're picking it up.
Isaac brings up an interesting point too. Very rarely do you ever see any Silver Age or Bronze Age books on the top 10 list. That's true. But think about that. Like, those are the ones that people are holding on to and not selling as much. These are brand new books with insane print runs compared to what they did back then. So I think there's a reason for that. However, you do start to see some of these books creep into the top 10 based on any sort of media or production. So very good point, though, Isaac Maynard.
You know what's interesting, before we go into our number 1, too, is to that point, you know, because I was following, before we even started doing the show, it's really interesting. We've seen a larger trend over the last 3 months or so with modern books. because you know, and there's been a few. You know, we had the first appearance of Firestar, whatnot, Spider-Man and his amazing friends. There's been some Bronze Age books for sure that have been on this list a couple of times. But even in the few weeks before we started our show, when I was following the trends, there was a few scattered up there. So there's been a lot going on, I feel, with the effect of COVID, you know, where just how we shot may be a little different, and maybe people have more time on their hands to read current books, to read the previews, and to sit online and go onto the websites and YouTube and say, okay, what's the hype? Oh, there's this punchline, there's virus, there's this, and then there's just more people are getting hit with that instantaneous information and going out and buying it. So I do feel it's probably a little more teetered to the modern books right now, just because of the climate that we're in. Yep.
People are they're just thirsty for new content. But speaking of new content, we have our number one that you want to talk about.
Yes. All right, number one. Similar situation here to our number two with the Wonder Woman. This is Captain Marvel, number 18. Again, the A cover and the B cover variant, both in number one and number two. This is the first appearance of L'Oreal, who is the Kree half sister of Carol Danvers. This is a big something that's going to impact Carol Danvers big within the Empire storyline. Now, here's why I like this. Again, you know, you got speculation on this book for a new character, but Captain Marvel herself, Carol Danvers as Captain Marvel, has gotten so much pushback for the last, 8-9 years now, ever since Miss Marvel, Carol Danvers, took the mantle of Captain Marvel. When she originally got her own series back in 2012, I believe, they cut her hair, they gave her the short haircut, they got rid of the very sexualized, revealing uniform and put her in more of a tactical, full body uniform. And immediately the criticism came. She was being called Carl Manverse, just a lot of hate towards the character. And then, of course, we all saw what happened with the film that ended up being an amazing billion-dollar success. But, so much hate for that film, so much hate for the actress, Brie Larson, playing the role of the film, but yet, it still made money at the box office. It still was a success. Now, on top of this, though, the new character, L'Oreal, is another character that doesn't have that, sex appeal that you would think would come with the new female character. This character is very, very hulking. We saw the pushback when She-Hulk was changed from being, yes, a Hulk creature that was more of an Amazonian-looking creature with very feminine physique and features, to being this more brooding, hulking, drawn character. This character reminds me very much of that form of She-Hulk. And look, this book is still selling. So that either tells me that, look, people are realizing now that women don't have to always be over-sexualized. We can have women be portrayed in different contexts and different personalities, and we could still have a good comic with good characters and good stories. Or it could also say that, look, even though there's those that want to complain about everything, they seem loud at sometimes, but sometimes they are the small minority and not the majority. Sometimes they just have that platform to where their voices are heard, extremely loudly. But I just like that people are going and demanding this book, regardless of all of those issues that I brought up.
I'm going to flat out say it, man. I don't understand the hatred towards this character. I think people have a problem with a strong, a strong female leadership presence. That could be a hot take. I don't know, but I don't understand. She's a great character. She's one that, honestly, I want my daughter to get into, and she already has. My daughter's 4 years old. She's a strong female presence. That's the one I want my daughter to be like, that person is cool. She's a pilot. She could do anything
right.
She wants, kind of a thing. And that's the one that I've literally been kind of getting her acquainted with, and she's enjoying every minute of it. And I just don't understand the hatred towards this character.
Yeah, and hey, to your point, there's very, I know Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers is Miss Marvel and Captain Marvel, is a cosmic being, right? I mean, she has cosmic powers, but she's also very grounded. I mean, she is a pilot, in the armed forces, and that brings this very realism of what it means to be a strong woman in real life and to be able to being in that position to say fight for your country or take pride in some sort of patriotism. And I think that is absolutely key. And yeah, I mean, look, we once again when we talk about representation, there's something there for everyone, I feel, you know, and I think what they're doing with this character has been great. But I will say, hey, the only hate I have for Captain Marvel is when Civil War II happened. I was Team Tony, Team Iron Man all the way, even though in the first Civil War I was Team Cap, because I was not agreeing with Captain Marvel's stance. I was like, no, girl, you are tripping. But at the end of it, I was like, I think she learned her lesson and she came out of that a better leader. But obviously that's just me geeking out on the content itself.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. But again, I'm happy to see, especially the top 4 spots are dominated by females. I think that's interesting.
Yeah. Yes. Very good
same
point.
book, different covers. We have not seen that at all with any type of superhero or what have you. So that is quite impressive. But that is also our top 10 hottest comics of the week from Cover Price. We will be back again doing that next week, as we do every week. But right now, we're here for you all. We are here for Q&A. There's a lot to talk about, a lot of chatter going on in the comments. And I got to get straight to it, guys. I got to get straight to it. B. Schnur started as Chris was talking about his top 3 of the top 10. B. Schnur asked this question. What are your thoughts on Virus appearing in the Free Comic Book Day Spider-Man issue? I got thoughts, Chris. I don't know if you want to go first, because I definitely got thoughts.
You want me to go first?
I'm going to go first.
Let's do it. Take it.
Appearance, everybody. That was planned as his first appearance by the creators. That was supposed to come out. It was planned to come out before the shutdown. The shutdown happened, and it wasn't able to come out. Okay. Then Venom 26 came out, and everybody's saying that is the first appearance. It's not. The Free Comic Book Day is his true first appearance. Kid Collector has a different opinion. It's the second appearance, and I don't agree with that. Chris, what would you like to say about that?
Yeah, look, I'm gonna have to take your side here. I'm gonna give an example. We know that the black suit first appeared for Spider-Man in Amazing Spider-Man 252. When that book came out, we knew that Spider-Man came home from the Secret Wars. And, back in those days, it said, like, refer to Secret Wars coming out and what. So I don't remember verbatim what it said in that book, but it refers you back to what was happening in Secret Wars. Now, another thing you have to remember, you're tying a storyline from Secret Wars that comes out, I believe it came out once a month back then. And you also are trying to tie that into the regular run of the character. So you had to wait a few months to see what happened to how Spider-Man got the suit in Secret Wars 8. But here's the thing. Here's why Amazing Spider-Man 252 is the first appearance, because of release date. So when you get that Secret Wars 8 a few months later, you're going back to something that happened before, but it's told as an origin, and that makes absolute sense. What we're looking at here is not that same situation. And now I haven't read the books. If the storyline of Virus is in ABC order, linear order of the Free Comic Book Day book happening before Venom 25 and 26, and the only reason why it came out after was because of a global pandemic and a shutdown of the presses, it is still absolutely, hands down, Virus's first appearance. You can't look. The only reason I feel the industry would continue to state otherwise is because they don't want to disrupt the market as it is or as it was. And if they do that, I feel that is almost unethical of the market. And when you talk about the market, you talk about what the publishers, what Marvel is saying on their end. If you start sending these books out to CGC, now before I wrap up here, I want to make one more point.
Oh, I'm going to wrap it up. I got something.
Okay, yeah.
on top of what you're saying too.
So I just want to make one more point too, because I think a lot of people have issues with CGC and like saying CGC is inconsistent and all this stuff. But I've seen CGC not put anything on certain labels if there is not concrete evidence coming from the publishers on what is or what isn't a first appearance or what the proper defining element of that book is. So here's the thing. I don't know if there's any of these books, even the Venom 25s, on the market yet. I don't know. I haven't done my research. But I would like to see if CGC and CBCS are going to withhold putting any type of first on their labels because of this issue.
Very good points. Basically, I think CBCS is a very, very gray area definition on a 9.8. I was watching, I don't know if everybody's familiar with Thorough. You guys all need to follow him, THORO, especially for the spec game. Keep It Thorough is his Instagram handle. He had a show and one of his buddies came on, found a 9.8 in a CBCS. Basically, the CBCS blue label says that this was supposed to be the first appearance, but it wasn't because there was a shutdown, and it's very like not concrete. I don't know if they've seen a 9.8 in CGC. However, this is what I have for you guys right here. I have the issue in my hand. Here is the first appearance of Virus right there, okay, with word balloons. He's on 2 pages right here. Am I right, Chris? There's 2 pages right there. He's fighting Venom. I don't want to spoil it for you guys.
I can see it.
Chris, here's an ad, right? But this is the 3rd page he's here.
Yep.
Another ad. But here's a 4th page, Chris, that he's fighting Venom. And then he flies off on the 5th page. Chris, what is that?
So, okay, well, here's the thing. Now, the one thing that is still kind of speculative, look, I've argued the fact of what defines a cameo or a first appearance. My argument here isn't if they want to call this a cameo or first full. That's not really my argument. Look, I see it as a full. I think when you look at the standard that he's got a full page and he's got 3 other pages where he's talking and he's involved in the action, I consider that as a full appearance. Even if Marvel or CGC or whatever labels this as a cameo, it should still be his first cameo appearance. So regardless, this is either his first cameo or his first full, in my humble opinion, no matter what.
I agree, and let's just put it to bed. That's our opinion. You guys may have different opinions, but this is going to be a heated debate for a while.
Yes.
Who knows if he's going to be a lasting kind of really like strong villain? Who knows? He's definitely not up there with Null. He seems like he'd be like a minion of some sort. Yeah. So, Kid Collector, it's just a cameo. Okay, that's your opinion. We're good with that. I saw another interesting. We're going to move on from this topic, though. I saw another interesting because Isaac is wondering if Black Adam is going to make the top 10. Maybe with the announcement of DC Fandome, maybe a Black Adam's first appearance looks like up in value, and maybe that will be on the top 10 list. I can't see it happening. It's going to be way too expensive for most collectors to be able to purchase that. I don't know how many issues are out there. This top 10 list, modern books are more accessible than Golden Age books, and that's how I see that playing out. So Mike Sears says Black Adam's first appearance is a Golden Age issue and into the thousands of dollars. So exactly that. Chris, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. It's obviously this book is gonna get looked at. People are gonna demand this book more, but it's gonna be a niche, because the one thing when we think about Silver Age or Bronze Age books that pop up because of movie hype, they're usually books that have technically been overlooked, for the last 30, 40, 50 years. So when you take a character like Carol Danvers, for example, when you look at her first appearance, or Marvel Superheroes 18, or you look at her Miss Marvel #1, and how those spiked up. These were books that were, like people said, oh, Carol Danvers, sure, but they didn't really have that, wide of range of speculatory value beforehand. Another one is Guardians of the Galaxy's first appearance. Once that hit, this book probably, you could probably find you know, for under 10, I don't know for sure, but I'm sure, you know, you might have been able to find that book for under the $10 range if it wasn't in a high grade before movie hype. You know, now you're going to find you're not going to find a mid grade for cheaper than $100.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, that's where Silver Age and Bronze Age books do have the ability to creep up and gain that momentum into a top 10. But when something already has something of just a huge dollar amount on it, such as a golden age, yeah, it's I don't see it happening at all.
Yeah, I agree. Kid Collector just kind of pushing buttons here. Hulk 180 or 181. Come on, Kid Collector. Actually, Kid Collector, what are your thoughts on that? What is the first appearance of Wolverine? Do you think it's 180 or do you think it's 181? You tell us, okay? We're here for you. We know there's a little bit of a delay maybe here, but let us know.
Well, you know, I have a little something to add to that real quick. The idea now, so it is known that the idea of cameo existed in comic books back to the 1970s. Now, to what extent, we don't really know. There's no big documentation on it to verify. Now, we do also know that the term cameo, probably by textbook definition, shouldn't have anything to do with the first, because a cameo is usually a quick appearance of an already known character. But putting those things aside, the industry itself, when you think of Marvel and DC, the publishers, when you think of Overstreet, when you think of Wizard, when you think of everything that existed in the industry that provided and documented this sort of information pre-internet and social media, saw Hulk 180 as the first appearance. Cameo was never there. But even during that time, though, Hulk 181 was still the money book. So I think what happened was once the internet hit, and especially with social media, and you have companies like CGC wanting to verify documentation of fact, the industry had to say, well, how do we label these to be accurate? And that's where they started bringing up the cameo and started deciphering through, you know, okay, well, if it's only on a few panels, we're going to call this a cameo and whatnot. Because, yeah, 30 years ago, Hulk 180 was the first appearance. 195 instead of 196 of Avengers was Taskmaster's first appearance. Venom 299 was Venom's first appearance. So it's really interesting how much things have changed. I just wanted to kind of drop a little history there.
And here we go. Kid Collector.
What is that?
At 180, you clearly see him, and I think there's a word bubble too.
Yep.
Right? So Kid Collector, gosh, you're not wrong, but the market's going to decide what the valuable comic is, and whether you think that's right or wrong, it's kind of out of our total control, right? Collecting Chaos, Wolverine's first appearance is 180, and his first story was 181. Interesting. That's a good way to put it. And obviously, the more expensive book is 181. Again, I was watching Thorough's channel. I think it was he had a live stream last night. They were talking about this exact thing. And an interesting point could be for everybody to clear this up, the publishers or the creators coming out and saying, hey, this is what it is. All right?
Absolutely.
And apparently they've done that with the Robin King. I don't know if you guys are keeping up with Death Metal, but apparently the first cameo is Death Metal 2. I think the first full appearance of Robin King is 3, and his origin or something like that is in another book. I can't remember what it is, because DC came out and said that. Now, you can maybe disagree with that as well, but if that's coming from the publisher, Chris, don't you think that's like this end-all be-all?
Right. Well, yeah, and I was in a discussion with some other folks and some other content creators, how, you know, a lot of, you know, there's a lot of, this isn't just about what we believe. Sorry. This isn't about what just we believe as collectors or what we want to dictate the market to say. This has a lot to do with like copyrights and trademarks as well. And a lot of this stuff is filed through the Library of Congress. So I know DC themselves, and I was discussing this with some folks about the first appearance of Terry McGinnis, Batman Beyond, in continuity. And there's just, you know, there's so much controversy around when the first appearance truly is. And if you look at what has been filed through the Library of Congress, where DC sends all of its documentation, it clearly states different. than what the market itself is saying. But this is a situation where CGC and CBS has stayed away from it and hasn't put anything on the labels regarding the character. So to your point, I think the only thing that can clear the air and put these arguments to bed is the creators and the publishers themselves coming out and making a public statement stating, yes, this is fact. Boom. And that's the only thing that could put the argument to bed. It's not CGC.
Yeah.
It's not Cover Price. It's not Overstreet. And it's not YouTubers. It's not us. It's not Comic Tom. It's not Key Collector app.
Yeah.
It is the creators and the publishers themselves. And that's what I think we need to hold them accountable for when these types of situations happen. So in the case with Virus, I think Marvel is going to have to step in here and make a public statement for sure.
Here's the thing, though. I truly believe this, and maybe this is me being a pessimist, but like even when the publisher or creator comes out and says this stuff, there are going to be arguments, and we're still going to have these conversations no matter what. Yes. That being said, Mike Sears got both 180 and 181 at a gas station for $0.25 a piece. I wonder if you still have them. Do you still have them? I hope so. Kid Collector, this is amazing. I'm planning if I get enough money from selling my books to get my dad Hulk 180 because Wolverine is his favorite hero. That is awesome. Amazing. Please let us know when that happens. Yeah. Hey, guys, if you have more questions, please send them in because it's starting to dry up a little bit. It's been an amazing show. We've had a lot going on. I'm still ready to talk more stuff. Are you still ready to talk more, Chris?
You know, like I think we were saying this earlier, there's always so much stuff to talk about in geekdom, man. And that's why we're here. We enjoy it. These are some, I mean, we touched on, this is so awesome that, you know, you realize when we have our segments and we bring up whether it's news or hot books, bringing those things up opens the door for all this dialogue and all these questions and statements and arguments that really are so interwoven into the hobby itself. And I love that. Absolutely.
Christopher Barker, I believe you're a new viewer, and thank you so much for joining us. If you're still here, DC Fandom. Yeah, man, we are psyched for DC Fandom. That teaser did its job for me. Chris, I don't know how you felt, but the juices were flowing for me. And if we get a look at the Black Adam, whew, I'm psyched.
Yeah, like I said, man, I'm way more excited about this. I think Marvel can come out and do something similar. And I really question, you know, what this means for Comic-Con in the future. You know, I mean,
yeah.
I would hate to have any kind of negative opinion surrounding anything of this, but I mean, what do you think? I mean, do you feel even if we get through post-COVID, you know, does this give Marvel and DC more grounds to take more away from Comic-Con and facilitate it in their own, you know, things?
Here's the thing. Comic-Con failed miserably at this virtual game. Everybody's going to want to congregate and get together when we can. And we will. We'll get back there. But so San Diego Comic-Con is not going to go anywhere. That being said, keep an eye on DC Fandom. Let's see how they do, because everybody's on the edge of their seat when Apple makes their announcements, right? Yep. Why can't comic book publishers do the same exact thing? Why can't these media properties do the same? Disney kind of does it with D23, but imagine if you segment those things off, where Marvel has its own kind of a, Marvel includes the comic books, the MCU, they do their own thing. DC with Fandom, if that keeps on going, keep an eye on Fandom, and then it's going to happen in 2 weeks from tomorrow. And by the way, we haven't announced this yet, but we will be doing a special that day, the day of Fandom. Apparently, it's a 24-hour event. We're not staying up for 24 hours, so hopefully we'll get some juicy tidbits during the day. We'll go live later in the day for you guys. Keep that mark calendar on the 22nd. But yeah, that's my thought. They could have like Apple keynotes and like how Apple brings in new products and everybody's on their edge of their seats. Same thing for these. Why not do it on their own?
Absolutely. Indeed.
So we'll see. Collecting Chaos. My favorite new book for this week is Patriotica from Antarctica Press. I saw the cover. It looks very nice. I don't know anything about the book. Let us know if you do like that. It's an interesting look. Mike Sears traded the 181 and still has the 180 over 50 years or nearly 50 years. I'm curious Mike, what you traded the 181 for. Very curious. Let us know if you can. Okay, here, Kid Collector. Mark my words. There's no way Marvel and DC are going back to cons. They can capitalize on charging money for it when they realize how many people tune in. They're not gonna make money off of in my opinion, they're not gonna make money off of a marketing event. Apple's events are marketing events where the press comes to cover them and their products coming out. The reason Marvel or DC would do something like this is they want to show off their products coming out. Their products are comic books and movies and other media, video games and other media publications. So I don't see them charging, and even for a one-off event, they would barely probably make enough money over their production costs. Am I right, Chris?
Right. Yeah. This is a situation where, it's pure marketing and advertising, and it's a situation where they are spending money to make money off the product in the material and the properties. But to his point, when it comes to making money, will them spending more money to keep doing these outside of the con allow them to make more money off the properties?
That's a good point.
They start rolling.
If you look at it that way, Kid Collector, you're right, actually, because you're putting marketing dollars into this event to make more money after the event. So that is a good point you brought up, Kid Collector, and I apologize. I kind of agree with it now. Steve Bradley, Disney will chase the dollar wherever it leads. You're right about that. I mean, you're absolutely right. I wouldn't say that they have no shame, but they definitely, they're struggling right now too with theme parks being closed.
Yeah.
All their vacation, assets are just really not doing well. So yes, luckily their saving grace during this time has been Disney Plus. They've reached 60,000 subscribers. It's just, I think, their goal for 4 years. So, So Mike Sears, the Hulk 181 for an ounce of palladium. That's interesting. Okay. Isaac Maynard, do you think when we get more announcements of Adam Warlock, do you think any of his Animal Arc books will become a top 10 list? Here's the deal. Chris is an expert when it comes to Warlock. Chris, I'm handing that off to you.
Yeah, look, Adam Warlock is an interesting character because there are so many spec books. Usually you look at a character, let's look at Wolverine. We have Hulk 181, but then we have Giant Size X-Men #1, right? And I know that's not just Wolverine, but then you have Hulk 180, the cameo that's gotten hotter, and then you have his first limited series. So you do have characters out there where if you can't afford the big book, there's other second best options. The thing with Adam Warlock, though, is the big book right now, which is the Thor 165, the first appearance of him, isn't that big yet. And every book is attainable to a lot of people. And he's got so many books that I feel that each and every one of those books will actually increase and catch a blaze to a certain extent. And this is a character that has key books, and it's not just like in a matter of a couple of years. It's going through 2 different ages of comic book collecting. His first cameo in a cocoon to his first full cocoon appearance are in the Silver Age, right? And then you have his first appearance of him, which is at the teetering end of the Silver Age. Then you have the first appearance of Adam Warlock in the Bronze Age, and then his first issue in a solo series, Adam Warlock #1, a little later in the Bronze Age. So you have a lot of books around this guy that can really, really pick up. And I think that each and every one of these books are going to continue to go up because of the character himself making an introduction and an entrance into the MCU, but also because of the time periods of these books. Keep in mind as well that the Warlock Volume 1 15 issue run has a couple of really nice affordable key issues in there as well that can also be looked at. And then, like I said, if you want to retire, while you're still young, the Infinity Watch #1 is the book to get. I hope you guys know that I'm being sarcastic here. It's a great book still. That's why I have so many. But
You went all in with
So,
that
yeah.
one. Steve Bradley agrees with you on the Warlock books. They are great books. All right. So things are starting to wind down in the comments section. We really appreciate you all for joining us tonight. It was a fun show, Chris. It really was.
Yeah. So happy to do this first Friday of the month. Props or slops.
Yeah.
Chris, awesome guests that we had on tonight. So I hope we can keep doing that. For the first Fridays.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't forget, follow us on comicbook.com or comicbook.com. That's Chris Killian on comicbook.com. We are Comic Book Canon. So follow us at Comic Book Canon on Instagram and Twitter. Be sure to subscribe to us and hit your notifications for any new content that we do put out. Chris and I are looking to grow the show a little bit more. We really appreciate all you regulars that are here and join us every week because we enjoy hanging out with you on our Friday nights. So for myself and Chris, thank you again for watching us. You guys all have a wonderful night. Chris, actually, I'm not ready to shut down yet because I'm all over the place. So, Chris, any parting words here for this week's show?
My parting words are showcasing Kids Collectors Comics, saying that we should do a segment called Cameo or First.
You're right. Yep. That would be that debate will never end.
Never end.
That's a good thing because we will be talking for quite a while. Anyways. Thank you all so much for joining us. We, again, have a blast doing this every week. We will see you next Friday. And a reminder, we are going to be doing a DC Fandom special on the 22nd. That's in addition to our 21st show. So be here for that, please. But in the meantime, we'll see you next week. So, again, thank you. Have a great night.